Hello, welcome to today's video. We are on page number 232 of the Keyboard Musicianship Book 1. Today we are going to be talking about two little tunes here, and we are transposing them. The first one is called Italian Folk Song. Now, because these tunes are getting a little bit more complicated and we're moving out of just one hand position, we will need to rely on the skills that we've learned thus far for transposition. So let's go ahead and listen to Italian Folk Song. This is in the key of C major, but you will notice immediately there are many accidentals. And so it is chromatic, and we have to be prepared for that when transposing. So let's go ahead and listen to it in C major first. Here we go. Placing your hands in position. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, so as you can see, various hand positions. We have some chromatic notes also with dynamics. Right hand will be legato slurs and left hand is non-legato. So a lot of things to be thinking about when we transpose. So I'm going to be transposing down major second to B flat major. The best thing to do, first of all, would be to do hands separately. Let's start with the left hand first. The easiest way to transpose when it's just a second would be to push the notes down in your mind a second. So let's go ahead, instead of C being the first note, we have B flat. We do move up a fifth and then a second. So think about also those intervals when the movements are like that. Also think about the scale degrees. And the last thing, of course, if it is helpful, the fingerings will be there to assist you. Let's go ahead and try the left hand first in B flat, remembering pushing the notes down, thinking about the scale degrees, thinking about the intervals, everything that you can to help you transpose by sight. All right, here we go. Left hand first. 1, 2, 3. So that third right there on the second measure, it may be complicated, but if you recall the fingering 2, 4, moving down the third, and then when you come from that F, moving down the third from the F would be to D. Okay, so try not to get that mixed up. The same thing happens again on measure number 4. So let's be prepared for moving down a third, mid fingers 2 to 4. Let's start again from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Rest, and then moving up to the new position. Remember that third down there, 2 to 4. And then finger number 2 on the tonic, which is B flat this time. Moving down to the dominant F. And again, back up to tonic. So that's when you're thinking about the scale degrees when moving just like that. Okay, and now fingerings are important here because they will help you for playing when we have some harmonic intervals in the right hand. And then of course, make sure legato stays. And then we have some accidentals. Now, I would say to do one note at a time, but it would be easier to do these as thirds. Okay, and then we also have a fifth over here on the second system. So we start first, scale degrees 1 and 3 in C major are these two, and that's of course also fingerings 1 and 3, so that's easy. Just bring it down major second. So here's minor second and here's major second, B flat and D. In the key of B flat, these are going to be 1 and 3. And notice that when we play the half step to make the third minor, we bring that to D flat in this case. It's just moving a half step down and it goes back up. let's go ahead and try this out for the right hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then 3, 1. Those are the scale degrees. And then we're moving up to the third and the fifth of the scale of the key. And then we're moving down a half step from these two, like that. 5, 3, for this case here. And we're talking about the scale degrees, 5, 3, whereas the first time in the second measure was 3, 1, okay? So we're just pushing that up, sequencing just up. And then we also have, once again, 1 and 3, but this time with fingers 1 and 2. So we have here, this fifth, it's going to be scale degrees 7 and a 4, played with 1 and 3. And then once again, we have fingers 1 and 2, but this time playing scale degrees 7 and 2. So that'll be here. Back to 1 and 3. Okay, so work that out, please. And then we're putting both hands together. Let's try it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oops. Remember that 4 down there. And the tremata hold lift. Very good. Moving on to the next one, number 4, I'm tramping, which is just meaning being a vagabond, kind of bumming around town, not really having a place. And this is an American tune. This is a slow march tempo, so not too fast. Notice that we have the dynamic of forte. Okay, let's get ready. 1, 2, 3. Have it. Okay, so I was kind of liberal with the fingering, especially on measure 3 and also in measure 7 when we had those triplets. Let's try not to play those triplets too slowly though. So if we have 1, triplet, 2, 3, and 4. Triplet 1, or sorry, triplet 2, 3, and 4. So that's going to be with the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Triplet 2, 3, and 4, 1. So maybe a little bit faster than I initially played it. Okay. All right, now when transposing, let's go ahead and start with the left hand because that's going to be the easier point. We have a fifth, open fifth right there, so that means we're going to be transposing from G down to F. So we start with these open fifths, playing 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then raising the fifth up a half step to C sharp in this case. Open it up even wider. 6, and then flat again. And so we're just kind of playing around with the 5th and 6th right there. Let's try that again. 1, in the second system is what I meant to say. Second system, same thing. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Bring it up to C sharp. 6, flat, and then when you have that down there, we have 5th, 5, scale degree 5th, scale degree 1. Okay, so those are thinking about the scale degrees, thinking about the intervals. That's how we transpose that. Now, for the right hand, we are starting on the third of the key of G major, and then we played this sixth interval here, which is scale degrees 3 and 5, and then moving down to 1 and 3. So not exactly an inversion, but that's the way it is at the beginning, okay? And then it repeats again with the fifth raised by a half step, and that's because we have the D sharp there. So let's start with the third of the key of F, A major, and then a sixth below A would be C. So we start with, and then one here, we're moving down to 1 and 3. So that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we bring this up to C sharp. Okay. And then on the next measure, we have, well, it starts with this one here, which is the 4 of F, excuse me, the 4 of G, bringing that down here to B flat, and then we have the tonic as well of F. So I like to play this with either 4 or 3, because we are gonna move up like this eventually to a 7th interval. Oh, excuse me, 6th interval. And so when we play these triplets, just like that, okay? So making sure that the interval stays as a 6th, 5th first, 6th, 5th, 6th, and then moving up to the next 6 right there, which is going to be 5 and 3 of the scale of the F key of F, okay? Same thing again in the second system. 2, 6, move up a half step. Once again here. And notice here that you end F tonic, and then on the third, moving it down to 6. Okay, and so that's how that works. So let's go ahead and try that with both hands together. Nice and slow. Here we go. In the book, it does recommend to play these intervals with 5, like this. And then notice that it says 5 right here on the second 6, but that doesn't seem very practical. So when playing, I like to do 2 and 4, 2 and 5, and then 1 and 4 when moving from these 2 6 intervals, because the top note does move by a third, and that would be the most practical in my opinion. All right, let's go and try this out in the key of F. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, so process is kind of slow, but the more you practice this kind of skill, the easier it will become. All right, let's go ahead and keep practicing that. We'll see you next lesson. Bye.